$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master Covenant, breaking 7 seals. Brothers, sisters, I can't convey to you the gravity of the time that we're in right now. You're going to find out in a minute. It's going to come as a shock. I've been telling you for those that have been listening, you can bear witnesses. I've been telling you for well over a year, longer than that actually, but distinctly, this war was coming. This desolation will lead this war in heaven. There'll be a pause about 6 months. I told you, fill up on gas, keep your car fill up on gas, and if you can't put one of those, like 7-Eleven has gas cans, if you can't fill it up, but put it in a safe place, you don't blow your car, blow up your house or whatever. I said, buy enough food to last you at least a month, and you don't have to cook. You don't let anybody know. I told you these things distinctly. Now, if you go out there and use, they tell you the same thing. The gas prices going through the roof. They said by this weekend, they expect it to be like $5, $6, $7 more than a gallon. I It was going up. I told you why, because the war in the Middle East, they control the oil, they'll cut it. It's going to cause economic, they tell you it's going to cause economic pain. They've been saying it. They say, oh, it's going to be pain, but we got to suffer the pain for long-term gain. They're trying to cover it up. These can't say I didn't warn you about these things. And right now, if I were you, stop listening to this and run right to Walmart or whatever and get that food I told you about. All the prices going up. Last weekend, maybe 2 or 3, 5 times more than what you. If you've been on YouTube, you see. So they're telling you all this stuff going up. And I warned you. I kind of didn't warn you. Oh, the war Armageddon years ago, 3 years ago, right? You seen war Armageddon? He warned you about the food price going up. He warned you about what's going. He warned you about what's happening in the Middle East. Oh, tickle. Oh, is that tickle? I was tickled about the tickle. It's not funny, really. Nothing about what's going on right now funny, brothers and sisters. Nothing. It's the most serious time in history. I can't get that across to people. If they understood it, they'd be 100%. You know, it says, if you don't forsake your parents, everything, you're not even worthy to be with them. That's a hard one. I hate to even tell people that. I know how hard that is because for people, ooh, that's what it is. That's how serious it is. That's how serious this time is. And you see the media, I mean, the lies are off the page. You see the media here, everything is all fine. Oil price going up. I mean, see, I think in New Jersey, I think it went up 50 cents a gallon. Yesterday, I think. It's about a weekend, it could be up $2 or $3 a gallon. More than that. America and I said America and Britain will be kicked out of the Middle East. They're fleeing out of the Middle East now. I tell you that, they're fleeing out of the Middle East now because they attacked all their installations. So they're going to be good. Now they're on fire. They're blowing up their installations. I told you. I can't say I didn't tell you this. It's right there. There's videos out there. They're going to be running out the Middle East and where they run to Europe. I said, Iran will come like a whirlwind. They said, man, they're dropping missiles like crazy. Come like a whirlwind. That's exactly what the scripture said. That's exactly what I told you. I said, they're going to win. They're trying to tell you, oh, no, we winning. They're not. Because this is getting torn up. I told you that would happen. And they abandoned it. I told you Saudi Arabia, right, would be on the side of America. Now they threaten Iran. You better stop. All the things I told you in detail, not watch the weather. And all you got to do is go out on my site and look. Let's say deplatforming real fast. It's all there in detail. Yes, I didn't tell you. About what's happening right now, I told you. And I told you when would happen. I told you after the pause, about 7 months, boom, round time. Pause was June. You can't say those things that are out there in detail. Not like they're trying to cover up. Oh, now, you see them all, they're all over YouTube now. They're digging up Farrakhan's from the Stone Age. He's talking about, digging up all those stuff, claiming he was telling about these things. America's unraveling. Well, you get that in Mrs. Black Man. You get that in Fall of America. Unraveling of America. Okay, well, be detailed. What does that mean? Oh, the weather's going to be bad. Oh, okay. And so give me some details. Was it going to be a hurricane? Going to be a tornado? Going to be a storm? Or just going to be bad weather? Thank you. No details. It's bullshit. So some dramatic things about to happen, Brother Cisco says during this war, some dramatic things are going to happen. The cleanup crew is coming in. the Nation of Islam. Prepare them for tribulation. Kick out the demons. Take Farrakhan down. Oh, they in trouble over there right now because already they got people plotting over there. Well, they got issues over there right now. So I don't know how long this war going to last. I don't know. That's the one thing I don't know. It says only one knows that is Master Fard Muhammad, the Father. But I know what's going to happen while the war is going on. While Israel was getting its ass kicked. American Britain's been thrown out the region, just like I said. All the bases hit. Some of the soldiers got killed. They said they downplayed the number. Some say it's in the hundreds. Some say it's even thousands. I don't know. Saudi Arabia's got involved. They got hit. They blamed Iran, the other side of America, Britain. That's where it would be. Now it's starting to become a Sunni Shia thing. Shia is rising up. It's certainly be rising up. Now, Master Muhammad is going to be involved in this. Maybe he's involved already. I don't know. I think so, because it says war broke out. Michael's angels fought the dragon's angels. So maybe he's made something known because they've been begging Iran, ancient Persia, for a ceasefire. You read that lately? They said, hell no, no ceasefire. But hey, we kicking Iran's ass. And yeah. Well, why you ask for ceasefire then? If they get their ass kicked so much, they should say, oh yeah. They said, hell no, we ain't get no ceasefire. So why you asked it if you're doing so well? If you win it, why you ask for a ceasefire? They asked Iran, check it out. They asked, Google it. They asked Iran for a ceasefire. They said, hell no. And we're going to attack you even worse than we did before. And we're going to shut down your ships. They moved their aircraft carriers off. They said, we're going to blow up your aircraft carriers. They said, we ain't fucking around no more. So Iran told them. So they're scared, they're losing. Who's asked for a ceasefire? Not them. They said, no, we're not giving no ceasefire. And we're going to turn up the music. We're going to turn up the volume. That's where we are. It's all about you, we just don't know it. Again, if you're still listening, right? Hope you're listening on your phone and you want to wait to Walmart or wherever, get you some food. That's what you better be doing. If you got any sense at all, it's a win-win situation. Because if somehow I'm wrong and there's no such thing as a miracle, but some miracle come up and everything, the world becomes nice and everything nice and devils, they become angels and God comes and peace on earth and food everywhere. Let's say that happens. You're going to be starved. It's a win-win situation because nothing happens. You got the food. If something does happen, you got the food. Win-win situation. You can't lose. You'll need more in a month. I don't think you need that much, but I'm just saying be careful. It's at least a month. Because that's how much time you may need to get to the place of safety. Where's the place of safety? That's where the Suleiman will be. Will he be? He'll let you know when time comes. Says you will have food. Say my people will eat, your people go hungry. What? Because Master Muhammad will feed you. He'll provide you enough, at least 1 meal a day. That's all you should need. Get through tribulation. Man from heaven. I tell you about Exodus. Man from heaven. That's what we are. And like I said, some of you are going to wait till you're waiting to see. I'm going to wait and see. Okay, you wait and see. I'm unprecedented trouble. It's unprecedented means I can't even tell you. I can give you some idea my opinion how it's going to be. I can't tell you how chocolate tastes, but I never tasted it myself. I tell you what, it's brown. It looks like it might taste this. Got some almonds in it. So now almonds taste, it's unprecedented. It means it's never like anything like this ever happened before. So I haven't experienced it either. Okay? But why is it unprecedented? Actually, you're the one that's causing it. Because your rise is unprecedented. That's why it says, can nature be born a day? Anybody heard such a thing? That's unprecedented. And so all the powers and the powers that be is going to do everything they can to prevent you from rising. Because your rise is their destruction. You rise up against this entire world. All this power. All this glory. All this anger. The nation will be made angry. Why? Because you're rising. And you're unprecedented. It's the shock of the hour. Men's hearts filled with fear. Those things come from the earth because the powers have be shaken. I mean, it's like it's just, you can just say, oh yeah, it was like this, like that, but guys, you won't know until you experience it. And you're going to experience it 100%. The thing is, right, is that the resistance is your rise. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have your protection so you're not crushed in the process. If anything growing, it means resistance because it's something there already. If you're in an elevator, you try to get it's full, you try to get more space, you'll get resistance. So here it is, this little nation, 17 million, is up against 5 billion, armed, angry. They ain't stupid. You're up against. And so another thing, I guess I'll mention this. I try to get to math these things, brothers and sisters. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to get through this again because here I go. You know how much energy you have? See, the earth, it says momentous in heaven and earth. I know you're not paying attention to this kind of stuff. I'm trying to get to math. You don't think, you don't want to apply the math. But if you did, you'd be acting differently. You'd be a whole different person. See, because your new mind is a mathematical mind. If you don't, it won't upload. If you're resisting, think mathematically. You try to upload like your laptop, right? You try to upload a operating system that's beyond the capability of it won't do it. It won't upload. So I can't load. You have enough, right? Whatever you need to upload it. And you keep resisting mathematics, you're not being able to upload the angel. Some of you, that's why some of you sitting around with it for years and still have not been uploaded. Keep on every time, error. That's on you. But there is momentous heaven and earth. Let me explain this process clearly. The universe contracts and expands. It's correcting now, the energy's coming back. We've been the energy deprivation because all the energy that used to be here is out there. If there's less energy here, you need energy everything, to maintain a system, maintain civilization, whatever. The bottom line is that it's my mission, heaven and earth. That's why I have deserts and things, because energy, good enough, energy, so you have less water and everything else. So therefore, you start having deserts and all that stuff's going to return back to fertile land, everything else. I'm going to get to that. That's another point I was going to, I don't forget it. So what happens is the earth absorbs it, and then the earth converts it to a form we can use at a certain rate. It's approximately every 50 years. So think about, so it absorbs it, and then how much do you get? Well, you figure you divide how much there is by the population. So if it's a million units of energy per day, and you got 1,000 people, right? And a million is 1,000 times 1,000, I believe, right? Right? Yeah, 1,000 times 1,000. So, okay, that's right. 1,000. Yeah, 3 more zeros, right? Not right. 1,000. Yeah, 3 zeros to that. No. 100,000. 10,000 rather. 1,000 times 10,000. Right? No, 1,000 times 1,000. 1,000 times 1,000. Let me leave it there. So if you got 1,000 people, let me make it easier. Say you got 1,000. Say you got 1,000 units, right? You got 10 people. That means each person gets 10. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets the same amount, but it depends on the population. How much you get depends on how much. It's like when you have a famine or whatever. Well, put it like this here. Like, try to show you. I'm getting sidetracked here. I think it's Serengeti. I think that's the desert over in Africa, I believe it is. So it rains like once a year, I believe. And then it depends on how much water is used, because there's how many animals and trees and everything that's there to absorb it. Right? Now, if you got a lot, it may absorb it before the next rain comes, and then now you got a drought because all of it's gone. A little bit, and you got still a lot. So, bottom line, I'm saying, if you got 1,000, just say you got 1,000 units, you got 100 people, each one gets 10 per day. If it's 1,000 per day, 10, because divided by, right? You got 1,000 people and you got 1,000 units, each one only get one. If you got 2,000 people, each one only get a half a unit. That's how much, that's the way it works. So, but the earth takes it gets the energy, and it produces it and it converts it. It takes 50 years, actually, probably 50 years, right, before it converts it all. No, let me say it a different way. That's talking about something else. Okay, you have that much, right? But the earth has converted. It doesn't convert all at once, right? Because it yields so much every day, right? I'm not saying that's getting a little complicated. Let me just give you the simple version. So in other words, the bottom line I'm trying to make here is that the greater the population, the less each person has. That's the bottom line. What I'm trying to get to. That's I'm getting to more mathematics that you'll get to understand later. But the bottom line is, if you understand that, so the more people on the planet right now, say for instance, the population on the planet right now double or triple, and that'll put us back into severe in deprivation mode again, because we have that much less again. See, I talked about this a while back and said, China's like a weapon. Let me move on, because I'm getting too deep into this. Bottom line, let me get to the point bottom line here. The bottom line is is that we're getting ready. Oh man, I'm trying to simplify this without going to all the math. I'm just well, okay. If I just cut to the chase, bro, says I want you to get the math to understand it. Okay, this war, it says it's going to be cut the population now like about the angels talk about that 1/3, but it's actually more than that, right? Population may be much more than that. So say it could say because it says like it says men's be hard to find. But the bottom line is, right? I just blurred this out. Yeah, I need not. Well, I should never got into this. Bottom line is the population will be cut down, say down to 10%. So say, for instance, you got 5 billion people. But 10% of that is 500 million. Yeah, 500 million. It's less than a billion. But now you got 10%. I didn't want to get into kind of math, but I'm trying to keep it simple without getting too complicated here. Okay, you got 100 people. And you got 100 units of energy per day. Right? If you get rid of 90 people, right? Let's say it again. You got, let me make sure I say this slowly. You got 1,000 units, you got 100 people. Right? Each person gets 10 a day. Because 1,000, 100 goes in 1,000, 10 times. So each person gets 10 a day. But you got 100 people, you got 1,000 units per day. 1,000 units per day, right? But what if you got rid of 90 people? Then we got 10 people. So now 10 goes into 1,000 100 times. So everybody's get 100. You get 100 units, and they was only getting 10 before. They get 100, they get 10 times as much. Look how much energy you're getting. Right? If you got rid of 90 people, 90%. Then 90%, what happens to them? They turn into fertilizer. That's why I want to get it, because the scriptures tell you that. It says that's going to be, it's going to magnify this thing because the population will be cut down so dramatically. And it gets into, because it gets into recycling, all that kind of stuff. Because when you put gas in the gas tank, you know what you're putting in there? You put the remains of animal life, ancestors, and everything else. Because that's what they turn to in the ground. Once you put them in the ground, then eventually turn to oil. So when you put it in there, and also they turn to fertilizer. You know, see, like I said, I was telling my children when they was growing up, right? They were small. I tried to bring them to real reality, right? And I said, I was telling about, I had eaten steaks, right? And I was telling them, anybody would eat a cow butt? Oh, no, we don't cow butt, man, you crazy? I said, that's what you're eating right now. Oh, they ain't stop eating it. We understand how recycling works. So the point I'm getting sidetracked here. The bottom line I'm trying to say is that this war, first of all, we're getting the burst of energy. We're going to experience it during this period of time. But that's we need to have enough energy to Hajj. We'll have enough energy to Hajj. Like 50 years ago, we had enough energy the so-called civil rights stuff, all that kind of stuff. See, I'm getting sidetracked again. The bottom line is that you only get enough. Mitchell's have Earth comes back every 50 years. We're in a 50-year cycle. On top of that, this apocalypse is going to wipe out 90% of the population. 90% of the population. That means you're going to magnify what you get 10 times. Nothing like that ever happened before. That's what I'm trying to get you understood for the times we're in. You want to get, so in other words, you got enough energy to come together, but that says that can put you in paradise instantly if you got discipline to control it. And the rest of the nation be turned to fertilizer. All those slain, it said the slain will be off the page, it says that. Turn to fertilizer. With fertilizer helps the earth produce more. I'm going to leave it there. I won't go into all the mathematics trying to give you the basic idea. That's what's about to happen, brothers and sisters. So all the enemies will turn to fertilizer. It means, and they won't be around to be absorbing as much all the energy that's come that. So 90% is going. Now we get 10 times as much as we was getting before. So we get this burst of energy. See, that's why we turn a twinkle of an eye. The energy we get just from the normal cycle, that's not enough to transform us into a twinkle of an eye. You have so much energy. Most of us, all of us, going to experience some kind of return to youth. I can't say how much. The way according to Quran says, it's going to be a lot. Maybe all of us. But so we're going to get younger. I wouldn't say youth, but maybe. That's what's in store. That's what this war is all about. So, but the point is, okay, I'm just going to get a little math here, brothers and sisters. I'm okay. I'm going to go down that road. If you understand, it'd be better if you understood the basics of how these things work. Then you could appreciate what I'm about to tell you. The devils, because they took energy, took our energy. Remember, if you get so much energy, if you get 100 units per day, everybody gets 100 units per day, but you take 200, that means you're creating 100 units. Let's say another way, everybody gets 100 per day, assuming that, right? You're taking 50 from someone else, then that means you got 50 units of bad luck. But they got 50 units of good luck. But you hold on to that, so now they got good luck, it's come a different way, but and that gets a quality situation, but they got 50 units of bad luck because they got they're supposed to have 100, they got 150. So that means they got bad luck. So you understand that principle. So the devil's been living off us for 20 years. That means the energy that they was getting didn't belong to them. That's why I said, don't touch that tree. So I'm getting a little deeper into this. Don't touch that tree. Not because our consequence of what we do back then, what they did to us. Because by touching that tree, they was taking something, right? Life. That's what you get from a tree, right? Life, it didn't belong to them. Now, how do you reproduce? You produce from the energy that you have. If the energy is negative energy, that means what you're producing don't belong to you. It belongs to who you stealing it from. When you eat, in other words, you eat food, that's why it says they bring fire to their bellies. That's why I say stuff like that. Because what happens is you have a negative energy, and so what you produce is going to be negative to that extent. So you get food in, it's negative, it's going to produce negative results. So if it's going to produce negative, it's going to cause negativity in you, right? Cause cancer. It also have reproduction. So in other words, you reproduce your egg and sperm, you're building off of energy that's negative. And so it's going to be orientated towards those you stole it from. That's why it says at the end, their people be led into captivity. Why? Because they own themselves. They're owned by the people that they've been living off of. They've been stealing our energy, managing and stealing it. Therefore, everything they produce belongs actually to us. All the nations are guilty of that. That's why I get that thing about what we're up against. All the nations are guilty of that. That means what they produce, you might look at it as people, but it's just energy that belongs to us. And we can do whatever we want to do with it. It's ours. No consequence. It gets a little deep for you. But that doesn't go against the principle I've been telling you. And I actually talked about that in a general way a while back. So they don't have control of themselves. If they do, they don't. And so we're going to reduce them to fertilizer. You don't have any else use for them. We're going to have slaves or whatever. If you understand that's the bottom line of what's going on, brothers and sisters. That's why it says some of the nations, some of them only kept alive. Actually, I did a graphic on that, showed how the devils used them as a conduit between us and the animals. I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm getting too deep in this, brothers and sisters. The bottom line is that the scriptures tell you only reason why they kept some people around because they didn't want the animals to overcome us. Because we still got animals out there, we still got to keep them in check. That's what scripture says. Go and check, Google it. So you have, keep it. That's why I get that thing where I show devils, right, down between us and managing animals. But maybe I'll dig that back up again, but I did that about a year or so ago. So so I don't know, that makes sense to you, whatever, brothers. I really mean to get that deep into it, but actually, it's the right timing. It's just that you ain't ready for it. I can't go into the real deep math of it because I don't think you understand the bottom line here. The bottom line is that that's consequence. If you take, you owe me $1 million, you took, so you got $1 million worth of energy. Okay, that take many forms. So you buying food with it. That means you buying food that's negative. So it's going, right? So you converting that food into your body. Remember, you owe that food to. You stole $100 worth of food from me. You owe me that food. Negative. You eat it. Now you converting that food to blood cells and everything else. Well, that you didn't own the cells. Then no, still, it's just took another form. I still own it. Then you convert it to reproductive cell. I still own it. It's still mine. It's converted to another form. In fact, it's simple enough for you to understand. Then you produce a child. That child is mine. I can do whatever I done with it. That's why you see it sounds like it's so cruel. Or you just take a baby and smash his head, all that kind of stuff. It sounds so cruel. See, because you don't understand the math behind it. Because mathematics don't look at it like that. Oh, it looks at it, right? Not like a child. It looks like it's energy that belongs to you and do whatever you want to do with it. A new way of thinking, brothers and sisters. The way you think, oh no, man, got you on an emotional level. So I tell you, brothers and sisters, you go to tribulation, You don't have, if you're an angel mind, you won't be able to handle any of that, what you see. You'll be able to handle it because you're not going to see it that way. You see it on an emotional level, and you're going, ooh, all this stuff, and you're going to get your head cut off. Because when you go through tribulation, right, if you show any signs of emotionalism or weakness, you're going to be cast out. Any evidence that you don't have an angel mind, you can't achieve Hajj. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. I didn't know I was going to get into that today. No, but that's one thing you have to know going. So the guy might as well say it, because you need to understand that principle going to tribulation. I told you, you're going to see things you never saw before, and you're going to have to understand it mathematically, not emotionally. Mostly will get you killed. That's why I tell you to wipe them all out, because they belong to you. But okay, it's like you got a shit farm, right? So you want to keep that shit farm worth $1 million, or you want to change it to $1 million gold mine. If you keep that shit farm, then you won't have a gold mine. Get rid of shit farm. That's what happened. You want them to stay in the form they are. Or you want to change them in the form that you control 100% into your paradise. You want them to run around, making mission shed blood. That's their nature to do it. But it's still controlled by you. We still control Adam. I explained that before. But do we want them to keep doing that? And we understand there's energy. But now we have control of energy. So we want to leave it in that form. We change to another form. That's what it's all about, changing one form to another. So if we leave them that, means the world will still be, they'll be running around. We still have it, running around, living in a shit farm. Get rid of shit farm, then we can make it to a gold mine. I don't know if that makes any sense to you or not, brothers and sisters. I didn't expect to get into that. That really requires a presentation. I can sit down and really think it through so I can explain to you in a more simpler way. I don't know if I can or not. Simpler way. That's the bottom line. All the energy in the world says by your seed, all nations be blessed. That means they're blessed with your energy. That means that you own them. That's what it's saying there. See, you don't understand these things. By your seed, all nations be blessed. That means you're blessed with your energy. That means they belong to you. They're composed of energy. They may be in human form, but still your energy. You're the gods. They're in human form, but it's still your energy. So you want to keep in that form? It's up to you. You want to keep in that form? So you want the world? We stay the world like it is right now? You can. If you want to keep in that form, or you want to transfer it, so we make all things new. You get it? You understand? We're going to transform all that. That's why we get rid of all that. We're going to transform it into something that we lack. How can we do that? How can we make all things new? Unless we control all the energy, make all things new. It means everything, all things passed away. Well, what you mean? That means all life, everything that's out of sync with us is gone. That's what it's telling you. But if you hold on to this, oh man, they look, they're so cute. That means you hold on to this world life. You cling to this world. I shouldn't have gotten this, brothers and sisters. I didn't mean to, but that's what it is. I'm trying to get you the bottom line. Really, that's what you need to tribulation, but I don't think you're ready to hear this. Because you're still hitting on an emotional level. I hear people saying, oh man, that guy's cruel. He's wicked. He's Satan. He's Riddler. But you're still looking at an emotional level. This is something that I was expecting Was Ancient of Days just said? Explain that to you. But then you got your attention then. So I don't know how I got into it today. I didn't mean to. I'm not. I must have said something. I slipped into it. I don't think you're ready to hear this. That's why I talk about that Amalek thing. That's what false Israel think they're doing to the world. So to get rid of all of them, the cows and the women and children, everybody, just get rid of all of it. It says in Exodus 2. It says, went out there and all those that wasn't with the message of the covenant, it says, wipe them all out. Their sons, daughters, everything. It says right in Exodus. Why is it saying that? That's cool. That's evil. Wicked. But understand the math of it, right? Because what you do is you transfer. If they didn't belong to you and you did that, you have consequence. You are killing people. But the point is, because they've been living off you for hundreds of years, of your energy, they're your energy now. They're all yours. But they produce from your energy. That's why it says they be taken into captivity, those who survive. That's why it's saying those things. Because it all belongs to us. That's why I told them, don't touch that tree. So now we're about to collect. Now we have no energy, right, to transform into the energy we lack. We're not just living, we have different shit farm anymore. That's why I said we need to get away from it. So we start controlling energy. Right now, we're leaving control of it to them, even though, but we don't realize that we control them. That's why they're confused in derision right now. That's why once you got your mind back, all of a sudden, you took control. Now it's into them. They lost control. As you gain control, they lost control. Babylon lost control in one day because you gained control in one day. They want to make you, keep you from gaining control. Get your mind back, then you realize you have control. How does it happen? Instantly, just as soon as you got discipline, destroyed them? I mean, you had control all the time. You just didn't know it. That's what angel coming gives you the discipline, and once you get that, that's the end of them. Because they all belong to you. You make all things new. We don't want it. We don't eat no damn chocolate ice cream anymore. We want you would sell chocolate ice cream. No, now we want so we change, right? We want it the way we want it. But now we do it the way they do it because we don't have we're not using energy to apply the discipline to make it like we want to make it. So we let them control our energy. We allow them to do it. You understand the difference? We're allowing them to do it. Up to 40 years, up to 2020, we had at that time we had enough energy that Adam had control, but now we have enough control. They don't have control of us anymore. And we have the control. We got to apply discipline. They're true. They cannot. The only thing they can do is try to stop you from gaining discipline, gaining your mind. Once you get your mind, it was all over for them. And that's what he said. Legion said, "Stop tormenting me," because he was telling them the truth. And once they start getting, all of a sudden they had no control of them anymore. It tells you right in there. It says no one could control them. It says no one could control. That means they can't control you anymore. Only way to control you because you didn't have your mind, so you allowed them to control you. It says they could not control you anymore. It says right in Mark. It says no one can control them anymore. You're under control because you allow it to happen because you don't have the right mind. You would listen to Farrakhan, all these clowns tell you stay here, this and that kind of crap. Once you get your mind back, there's no control over you anymore. You have control only because you allow them because you don't realize that you have the control. It's discipline you need. They don't want you to have discipline. Teach you all, everything, hang out, do whatever you want, do whatever. But once you get discipline, they're through. Nothing they can do to you. And you own them, so therefore they're through. They're through. And so now that's the energy running around. Say, okay, it's like, you got a farm, you got pigs running around. And you say, okay, man, I want pigs. I want cows. You get rid of pigs, you get cows. You understand what I'm saying? So you got these, if you let them run around, it's like, okay, you have roaches and stuff running around, right? Or you can just get rid of them. So if we let them be, then they're gonna keep running around doing mischief, shed blood, and we're gonna keep like we have it now. We said, no, we don't stop that. So we got to get rid of, right? In other words, you have rats and roaches running around your house. If you have them running around your house, then you got to put up with them. But you have control of them. But you say, oh, I ain't gonna mess with that roach. Okay, well then you got them crawling over you. I don't know if this makes sense to you or not, brothers and sisters. They have no control of you anymore other than they had you beating yourself. No, the man was beating himself. They wasn't beating him. He was beating himself. Read these things, brothers and sisters. They wasn't beating him. He was beating himself because he didn't have his right mind. And so they had no control of him anymore. He was given the control. They have no control of you anymore. Once you get disciplined, you keep listening to Farrakhan, he's there to keep you from getting that knowledge, getting to understand and discipline yourself. That's what his purpose is. You understand? Scientology and all this bullshit he's giving you. Read it. It says they had no control of you anymore. So no one could control him. The chains was broken. His mind, he was beating himself up. No one's beating you up. You're beating yourself up. Because you don't have the angel. They do everything to make sure you never get it. Once you get it, that's it. They don't have it anymore. Then that's the end of them. And the reason why you have power over them like you have, because they've been living off you for all of them, all the nations. That's why I show all these nations. They got your stuff. So they're living off you. So anything they produce, they produce it with negative energy that belongs to you. So I don't care what form it is, it still belongs to you. Somebody take $1 million from you and take and buy a house with it, $1 million house, that house belongs to you. Okay, it ain't money anymore, but it's in the form of a house. They take that money and marry somebody and produce children. But they belong, that's still energy. It's still energy, brothers and sisters. It's just, now it's in that form. It's the form of their children. Maybe the form is, maybe it's a farm. So now it's in the form of cows. It's still there. Your energy belongs to you. If they worth $1 million with their farm, cows, everything else, all that belongs to you. But they stole you from you. And they've been living off us. That's what it means for all the nations. They've been living off us, so therefore, of our energy. If you bless them, bless with your energy. So energy belongs to you. So now that's what make all things new. You're going to transfer energy into the form you want. You got peace. That means, okay, you got your house, and you it's full of roaches and rats and everything else, right? Okay, that's the form it's in. You want to stay in that form? Okay, you get rid of reservoirs now. Man, you got a nice, clean, sterile house over there. Why? Because you could live in a filthy form. That's what Europeans did over in Europe. That place was filthy. That's what everything else. They use us to transform into something else, but they use our energy to do it. See, when you slave somebody, that's a mistake. But now you're taking their energy and use it the way you want to use it. That means that energy belongs to you, to them. They made it with your energy. That's why those who remain will go into captivity. That means they won't be in captivity. That means they're owned by someone else. There's no consequence under that. There's consequence to us. What they did to us, but no consequence to them because They made from energy that came from us. So they belong to us, 100%. And we can do whatever we want to do with that energy. You got 1,000 units for energy per day. You spend that way of giving you. Is that what the Quran says? So long as you spend $1,000, you got 1,000. You do whatever you want to do with that $1,000. Anything you want to do, you can do. There's no consequence whatsoever. None. But you got 1,000. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But if you take find someone else, now you got a problem, because now you got $500 with negative energy, and that person got $500 with positive energy, because now they're going to get energy some other way. You understand? That's what's going on. That's what's at stake here, brothers and sisters. Now you could become part of the rats and roasts get destroyed because you won't pay attention to this. You won't apply the discipline. If they got you out here, see, you gotta be careful, because they got you out here, and you listen to these demons that carrying on, because they live off us too. Remember, if you got wolves, sheep clothing, those wolves are living off the sheep. Same problem. That's why you get them too. Our kind, that's why he's cursed. He's living off of us. That's why he got that cancer. But if you sit around and be like that dumb Ishmael living off, then he's going to pay a price for it. He got all that negative energy, so now that's why he's locked in the fire. He's on the same wavelength as them. It's called wavelengths again. Remember, wavelengths energy. So if you taking not manage energy properly, then you're going to be on a lower wavelength than you would have been if you managed it properly. And it'll get you on a higher wavelength. Higher wavelength destroys lower wavelength. Higher pressure overcomes lower pressure. So by him going out here ripping off the people who are still listening to Farrakhan and living off the people in NY, he's still on a lower wavelength. That's why his head still like a Farrakhan's ass. He's still on that wavelength. He couldn't move to a higher wavelength, but he's still on that wavelength, so therefore he's going down with it. Yeah. Have you seen any of this kind of stuff, bro? It's a whole way of thinking, a whole way of looking at stuff. But it's totally mathematically correct. But if you're emotional, oh man, let's go, we're going to get rid of people, we're going to... What it told Joshua, have no mercy, get rid of all. Wow. Somebody saying, God, man, God's cruel. What has a person on the internet was saying that, man, oh man, that God, well, if you're emotional, yeah, you're going to see that away. Otherwise, you can see it. Oh man, don't kill it. Don't kill the little rabbit, man. Don't kill the little rat, man. He looks so cute. You see what I'm saying? You have a lot of rats running around your house. They ain't gonna be doing good things for you. Like you see a little lion, all that little lion cubs. Yeah, they look cute when they lion, but they grow up not to eat your ass. And that's what happens. They gave you hidden adolescents. They said, because when they took Yaku's creation and run him out of Europe, they said the sisters, they were sorry for the babies and hid them. Now they're all white over there. Oh, the little baby cute. See what happened. And then now you got Ishmael over here, right? He's all mixed in. So now he become an enemy to us. So it's in slavery and everything else. But now we own them because they're living off of, that's our land, they're living off of it. That's ours. So that's why we go to battle. I don't care how many numbers they got. That's another thing, brothers and sisters. We're going to be battling. It's not going to be 17 million going to make it. It says many went out, a few came in. Millions of us came. Well, 17 million of us left now. Right? But how many come out of the tribulation? I don't know. Then you got the elect. But we could be outnumbered like 1,001. It don't matter. Because they don't have any power. Because first of all, they got the discipline of the pillars on top of that. But that energy belongs to us. They don't belong to themselves. So the numbers, the amount of numbers they have don't matter. They still belong to us. They've been living off us. I don't know if you understand that principle, brothers and sisters. That's one of the reasons why. That's to get the wisdom of Dr. Shabazz. Turns into diamonds, right? Turns into gods. And turn those that was against us into fertilizer. Dr. Shabazz, wise man. I'm trying to communicate this to you. Read Mark. They have no power over you anymore. You do it to yourself. Right? We got to make our community safe and everything else. No, they talking about. They have no power over you anymore. Only power they have over you is the mind they gave you. That tells you to give them your power. You give it to them. It says by Mark, they have no power over you anymore. It says that's why it says, Legion, lose Eugene Ground, Farrakhan, stop tormenting me because you was waking them up to that. And they was losing power, control over you. And so as they finally lost all control, so they said, well, don't make me leave the country. They ran back to the devil, right? Let me go with the swine. You know, that's a demon war with the locust war. I'm not. If you understand that principle, brother and sister, most of you don't. I know you don't understand it because you don't understand the principle of going transition from the winter to the spring. Because some of you still hold on to the winter. You just couldn't let it go. Oh, I'm scared, man. I got a Section 8, man. I got these bills. I got this. That's where you saw it. That's where you still see it that way. You hold on, and that's why Master Muhammad, he's going to give you hands. He's getting you real. It's hard. Like you got to spank a child. Sometimes you don't love a child, but you got to spank them to get them to understand. And you getting ready to be a big spanking because you didn't listen to Master Muhammad. You didn't listen to Elijah. You let Farrakhan get you naked. Tribulation, a big spanking for you. They're getting ready to destroy this mind that's got you trapped. That's what it is. This reality is a mindset. When you clean the earth, you clean to a mind. That's why it says in Daniel, the mind be plucked off of you. So the eagle had you, and it had to be plucked off of you. Because you cling to it, you hold on to it. You can't let it go. You see, oh man, I got a bill, I got bills. You don't see. You don't understand the math of it. And so, and that's their mindset. Oh, I got to hold on to this. I'm gonna got to hold on this apartment. I got to hold on this job. I got to hold on. All, and that's all of this mind. You hold on to this mind, hold on to this world, and you hold on to. I got to stay the snow, man. I got to protect that snowman. The spring coming in, you can't save it, but you hold on to it. You're not getting frostbite. Hold on to the ice. When the ice is gone, it's melting. But you're so afraid, man, I'm gonna lose I got hold of this igloo. Spring's coming, igloos will melt, but you can't let it go. I can appreciate it to some extent because I had to do that, but I didn't have a problem doing it. So I guess that's just me. But once I was in Injil though by then. If I wasn't in Injil, I don't know. I don't know. Because like, I was in Chicago and my demon wife, she every time I built something, she tear it down with me, had a nice place, living on the lake and everything else. Every time I put something together, she come off with some bullshit. Right? I come on one day, oh, she's going, and furniture's going, everything else was she's bad about something. Please tell me, yeah, you can't come in there. And I went through that 3 times. I said, okay. Our mother told us, y'all better stop doing this. What you doing? You doing it. Let's stop doing it. But she kept on. I stuck around because I had children, right? That's the only thing that helped me. I didn't want to let go of my children. Then one day she said she wanted a divorce. Okay. And I walked with me everything I built. It's like that. I just got my car. I was working Time magazine at the time. You know, I gave me a nice little position there. And I said, okay, I'll see you on Monday. Supposed to meet the lawyers always on Monday. Monday, I was in New Jersey. I gave my notice in my job. I was into Mustang at the time. He had me a Mustang. I had about $300 in my pocket. Somebody up there got my car, was going. Left everything behind. Didn't blink an eye. So you have it all. Mondays, you trying to find me. Where they had cell phones the time around. I don't know how she got my uncle's phone number. I don't know how she got it. Anyway, I'll say, your wife trying to call you. How the hell you get my phone number? His phone number. She, had no cell phones at the time. Oh, no, you want, we put me, I said, yeah, well, I don't need to be there. Whatever you want, it's all yours. It's all yours. Everything there is all yours. Everything. Bank accounts, all of it. Move on. Next thing I know, a year later, I think about a year later, something like there, I started my own business, IT business, right? On a couple of houses. I was processing for work to build, getting this mini mansion. I had control. She had control of that. There's no control together. But I'm just saying. That was before I got to the Injil. When I got to the Injil, everything was gone overnight. I didn't blink an eye. That's me. And that's hard for you. But you're going to have to do it. So since you couldn't do it, just do it. That's why I'm going to give you a hand and spank you. What you hold on to, you're going to destroy it. You hold on to this world, life is going to go. And so the American dream is going to destroy it. That's what's happening right now. Oil price is going up. They're going to go up dramatically. The economy is going to collapse. They're not hold on to it anymore. Now you're going to follow the demons, but they're going to try to revive it. They have no choice. You're going to hang on to them, or you're going to... You got the same amount of energy that you had when right now. You got to give it form. Once they take it away, you have the energy, you just don't have the form anymore. Because the form you have is their form. See? You have the energy, the form they gave it. They tell you, what we see right now is the form, they control the energy, so they give it this form. They say, okay, you got to eat chocolate ice cream, that's all we make. But now, no chocolate ice cream anymore. So we don't have that form anymore, so now you got the energy, you still got the money, but you just can't buy chocolate ice cream anymore. Now you got to take that money and get the ingredients to make your vanilla ice cream that you like. I don't know if you understand that. But right now, you letting them control your energy. So what we're doing, work and all that kind of stuff, that's their energy. That's the way they do this quality they give it. But that's going to be destroyed. That's what's happening right now. It's being destroyed. This economy, everything's going to be destroyed. It's in the process of being destroyed right now before your eyes. It's going to be gone in a few more days. But you can still have the same energy. But it has no form. And that's where the angel comes in. But Master Muhammad is going to destroy it. The quality of this energy, this American dream is going to destroy the quality. Right? Can't destroy the quantity, going to destroy the quality. But therefore, this is going to be... so now you know what to do. That's what the angel will come and tell you how to give the form. Conform to who you really are, your real nature. Angel, okay, I know I like chocolate chip ice cream. I didn't know I like that. Now I can make chocolate ice cream. I didn't know I like that. I've been eating chocolate ice cream so long, I thought that's the only kind of ice cream there was. But now, that's gone. And I got the ingredients. Here's the ingredients to make me some... You want to give me the ingredients to show me how to make chocolate chip ice cream. Now, I'm good to go. Now, you understand? They're just going to come and give you ingredients to how to make the world like you want it to be. Not like they making it for you. That's what angel does. But you don't know how it's because they tell you this is where it is. Are you happy here? Is it working out for you? No, because you got high blood pressure and everything else, because this ain't for you. This is the way they want it. And you live in a shit farm because they tell you that's where it is. You got to smell shit all the time, right? You got $1 million shit farm. I got $1 million shit farm. So you come and tell, hey man, let go of that. Here it is. You can take that $1 million and buy you a gold mine. But you don't know that. Because you think all this is a shit farm. That's the problem. That's why I'm trying 35 years trying to get that point over to you. I'm still here. I don't have to be here. I'm here, but when I am here, but the point is I control, it's still, right? It's still got to eat chocolate ice cream. That's what they made. But I control it. Okay? But I can't put the ingredients together. We got to get the hell out of here. Because the only ingredients we got is the ingredients they gave us. Get in your mind when all this is going, and now you spend 5 months putting something together, getting the hell out of here, so we can start making like we want to make it. So all this energy running around, these rats and roaches running around here, get rid of them. See? Maybe some bees and some ants, transform the bees and ants would produce honey and stuff for us. So we don't have it in the form of devils and demons and carrying on. Because that's still our energy. That's the power we have. So we transform into beings that we think we lack. Help for us, if you understand it, make all things new. But they're our energy. But you look at them like they're people and stuff, it's still energy. And they produce with our energy, that means they belong to us. They have no power anymore. It says right in Mark. That's why they're not beating you, you're beating yourself. Stand here is a recipe for destruction because you say, oh, no, we're going to stay and keep eating frogs. No, you stay and eating chocolate ice cream. I like chocolate. Yeah, because you like chocolate ice cream because you're part of this. That's why I tell you to stay here. Stay here, stay here, because you like chocolate ice cream because that's the ice cream they make and you like it. They tell us we to stay here too. Why? Because you're living off us. But you don't want to leave. This is their energy. This is the way they make it. This is the quality they give it. But he said he liked this. Why? Because he's one of them. This ain't our quality. He's got $1 million, these mansions, all this kind of stuff, right? Because he fits into this. Are you doing like that? And if you get all that, how's it working out for you? You see how people, I don't know if Michael Jackson was a demon or whatever, right? But those people, they get their money, and they ain't happy because they're taking drugs and everything else. You know, Prince and all them, why are they taking drugs? This is so great. They got all that money and everything else. Still, something's missing. Something's still missing there. Because you go this world life, it still ain't gonna make you happy. Because it's not, I got a chocolate ice cream factory. I can make all kinds of, yeah, but you don't like chocolate ice cream. But you got a lot of that, plenty of it. It may probably give you diabetes or something. You see? Because they give us shit farm. We live in a shit farm here. Yeah, it's still energy. Still worth something. But you got to smell shit all the time. Yeah, man, look at me. He got shit, man. Look at man. He got to control the whole thing. Look, he got to control the farm over there, man. Look, he's doing good. Successful. Yeah, but it's a shit farm. You got to smell shit all the time. But yeah, but he got a farm, though. Let me move on, brothers and sisters. I really got sidetracked. I didn't get anywhere near I was going to talk about. That's important. That's what you have to go through in tribulation to understand that. What I just told you, that's what you go in tribulation for, to understand that principle. Because you will not get to heaven and paradise without understanding that principle. I mean, I went to it deeper than I ever did before, but that's the base principle. That's what it's all about here. You have to get control. That's why Friday don't want to leave here, because he don't want you to get control of yourself. Because you make a world that he won't lack. You start making a vanilla ice cream, he wants chocolate ice cream. They won't like the world we make. Like they're like dogs. We don't want damn fucking dogs in our house. You understand? They don't like that. You know, I don't like this. I hate this. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. I would go on left. You know, my Swami came here. He didn't want to be either. He got the hell out of here after he passed away. Like, Mommy got the hell out of here. He didn't want to be here. I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here. I know exactly where to go and what to do. I'm here getting information. I'm not asking for anything. I'm suffering because trying to get information to you because the promise was made to you and we're going to keep it, especially for the sisters. I don't need to be here. I'll be going through this. That's what story you got. That's the information. But I'm telling you right now, like I'm kind of jumped the gun because this kind of information I was reserved until the ancient days sets and take over NOI. That's the information. That's what you're gonna be. That's what we're gonna talk about because that's the core. That's the core information. That's what you need to know to go to tribulation. You understand that? So I don't know how I got myself into it right now. It's been on my mind. I didn't mean to get into it today. I guess maybe because maybe something gonna happen dramatic. That's for something that's the information you're gonna have to be getting once the transfer takes place. Stones are cast down. That's the message you're gonna get. People in dark see the great light. That's the information you're gonna get. When it's tribulation, and that's what you have to understand. You have to put it like this here. You know, I've suffered a lot. Didn't have to. But sometimes, you know, suffering, like I said, experience is the best teacher, but it leaves scars. Now, kind of life I live and everything, the life I live and everything else, I learned a lot of things, diversity. I got the Injil. I start to understand these things I'm telling you right now. I start to understand it in a more mathematical way. But that's I wouldn't really, when you understand something, you really, see, I don't like this language. But really when you say understand something, you really got it. See, in other words, if I tell you all how a chocolate bar, you may have all the knowledge of it, but you don't understand it until you taste it. Once you taste it, then you understand it. That's what understanding really means. See? When you actually experience it, that's what really understanding means. Not necessarily wisdom, understanding. That's why it says, Solomon told his son, he says, get knowledge and get wisdom, but all that getting, get understanding. So understanding is more powerful than knowledge and wisdom. See, wisdom is like the mathematics of the thing. Knowledge is like knowing about it, but wisdom is like having the mathematics of it. Understanding is like the experience you really, you know, okay, you know about chocolate, that's knowledge, right? Okay, you know how to make chocolate, that's the wisdom. When you taste it, now that's the understanding. That is a simplified way of saying it, right? So I had the knowledge of the Injil. I got to start getting the mathematics of it. I didn't have understanding until I was spent 3 years in Guam, Demon Island. I was totally busted. I had nothing. Everybody was against me. I told the story. I'm not going to detail last time I told you about. They had no money. They threw me in jail. I couldn't leave the island. They put me on trial. I actually trial with jury and everything. I mean, I went through hell over there. They came at me every kind of way. I couldn't tell you hours all the stuff they tried. They came at every kind of way. They did everything they could to do against me. They didn't beat me up, hurt me. They came at me every kind of way you could think of. I had no money, no lawyer, and I had nothing. I was abandoned over this, like it says in Jonah. I was abandoned. And no family, nothing. Nobody could help me. And what I saw, the experience I had understanding. I actually saw the angel in motion. I saw the 5 pillars in motion. I saw protection. Every time they do something, just angels started knocking out the park. Everything they came at me, I didn't have to see it with my eyes and just boom. Another thing I know, boom. And I walked out and they couldn't, even a trial. They put him on trial, jury trial, and I walked out. They got mad. I mean, the lawyer got mad. He said, man, you can't tell the judge, you can't let him go, man. He's guilty of all kinds of stuff. They put out my, I got this, man, I put a book, got it somewhere, right? Well, let me just get it real quick. I still can't find my other one. Hold on a second, boss. It's over there. Sorry, so you see what I'm talking about. Oh, here it is, Johnny. And the other book. Home. All right. I misplaced something. I don't know if you can see it's not brown sisters. Yes, I'm not. Yeah. Now, what I did is I put this together in 1992. I sent Farrakhan a copy of it. And this is the Injil, the way I understood it in 1992. Now, I did this. I printed a whole lot. I gave it, and I sent it to a lot of people over the years. Right? I still got a few copies left. I printed about 1,000 copies, whatever. Right? I had a lot of money at that time, right? But in here is every chapter Injil. Worked on every chapter in here. Well, one of the reasons I did this because I wanted to write down in 1992. I broke the seal in 1990. 1992, because in here it talks about anyway. I wanted to, so when I look at it, I know it'd be 35 years later. I wanted to be able to look at, years later, and compare my understanding of Injil at that time compared to how I saw it in 92, see if there's any changes and make any mistakes. And there's only one change. Everything in here is like, I still see it now, it's more in detail, but nothing, I wouldn't change anything that's in here, except there was one thing at that time, the witnesses, I knew one was Iran, but I thought the other was Turkey. I know it was Syria. It took me a while to realize, no, it was Syria's other witness. It's not Elijah Muhammad, not Farrakhan. So if you go in here, all that's in here. All that's in here. Every chapter. Break down every chapter in here. Right? So what happened was now when they had me in Guam, they actually got hold of this. The person that was doing all this, trying to hurt me, showed them all this. Right? And this is calling devils, and everything else, right? I mean, it's going, think Elijah was tough. Whoa, it just went off. And they thought, they got to come in, show them, well, hey, is this your voice? Yes, Mom. I said, what's wrong with it? Because they was all the people that was there was either Guamanians or devils. But Guamanians, they're devils. Because what happened is in Spanish, they took Guam, They literally killed all the males, even the baby males. All the males, they killed them all. Go check it out. And they took and raped the women. And so the Guamanians really Spanish people. The demons. They killed all the males. Every one of them, even the children. So and the people they now, the Guamanians, are the slaves. They're the children of Spain. And so you don't like black people in Guam. They had me in jail. That's another story altogether. But the bottom line is, they walked away. They couldn't understand that. So, like I said, when I came out here, I didn't like being there for 3 years like I was. But I came out here understanding because I understood the power of the Injil, power of the 5 pillars. And they couldn't know damn thing, and I said, I had no money out. Let me give you a short example, and I'm going to close, brothers and sisters. I had no money, right? I came there on the contract. I worked for this Indian company asked me to go out there and run their child support system, set it up for them out there, right? That's a long story. So a lot of stuff background behind that, bro. Says, believe me. The bottom line is, like it says in Jonah, hell break loose. They threw him overboard and banned him. That's what happened. I was working for the Indian company. Stuff went up. They banned me, left me out there. I had no money and no job, anything. They told me I couldn't leave the island. So then this stuff came up. And it was 2 things. I'm going to say 2 things. Okay. So I actually went to court 2 times. The last time it was jury trial. The other one was before jury trial. So I think I'll speak to that one a little bit. First one, I'm not going into all the details. The thing is, I had this preliminary. It was I was in court, and I don't want to go into all the details. But what I is that this judge, she was a female. Boy, she hated me. Boy, her eyes turned flames and everything else, right? And everything she said, she talked really nasty and mean. I just sit there, and so I said, man, I'm your lawyer, and so I said, I'm sitting by she going to tear me apart. And that's what I was thinking. I'm still getting into this, right? So what happened was, I still had a little money left I saved a little money, before they abandoned me. So I said, well, maybe I can give me a lawyer to help me with a little bit something. I didn't know what I could do. So anyway, or maybe I can, promise him, I had good credit and everything, right? So anyway, I ran it and I got this guy. And so he said, okay, he'll represent me. He let me down later on, right? When I went to trial, he disappeared. Anyway, I didn't have no money to pay him anyway. I had enough money to pay him for just this hearing. So we go back in there because she was mad. She wanted to put me in jail. She was going to do everything. I can't always tell a detail that. It's a long story. The bottom line is, if you go back in there with him, and I see her eyes all of a sudden eyes looked like me staring at me. It turns out that the guy I found, he had a conflict interest with her. So I didn't know that. So because he was my lawyer, she couldn't handle the case because they had a conflict. So boy, she was angry. She looked at me like I had to figure this. I did this on purpose. Boy, that woman, boy, I know she said, man, she was angry, but she had to walk away because she couldn't. Because I picked this. He's the only guy in the alley that had this. Things like that happen. And after that, right, and I had no money to pay him everything, so he actually walked away. But anyway, it served its purpose. So then again, when they had me in jail, I didn't have any lawyer. I was there, and they had me a public defender. They gave me some from India. I said, man, no. She would tell me, all you got to do is just plead and take a plea deal. I said, man, I didn't take no deals. So you work for them or what? I told Judge, I don't want it. I said, no, he said, you got to have somebody. I said, well, I ain't going to have her. Well, she's trying to tell you what's best. I said, no, I forget it. No, I'm doing with her. I don't want her. So I had nobody. So during this time, the public defender got charged in the public defender's office. Something happened. I don't know what happened to him, right? They leave, whatever. So they asked this other guy to stand in for him while he was, well, whatever. I don't know what happened to him. It's just one thing, man. So the guy they asked, this was a top guy on the island. He was a lawyer, right? But he was a top lawyer on the island. They asked him would he stand in for this guy while he was whatever. I don't know what happened to him. But so he put this guy in charge temporarily, right? And he's a top lawyer on the island. So then and so when they put him in charge, that's when my case went across the desk. So he saw my case. He says, This is what he told me later. He says, man, I look, that's bullshit. Because it was bullshit. They was going to put me with, they told me to put me with 6 years. That's what he told me. If I made a deal, I was going to be 6 years and I had to get that permission to the island. That was the bullshit they was telling me. I didn't make no deal. So I'm in jail, right? So he pops up in the jail. And he was what do they call that? He was some religious guy. He was in, I forgot the church, Lutheran. He's a Lutheran. So he walked, he says, oh, he saw me, he said, oh, but you black. See, saw my name, Raheem, and he I thought he must have been Indian or something. Right? Oh, I got I got a little problem here. Oh, boy. Okay. They said, oh, but you black. That's when you first meet a Caucasian, look in his eyes, because they tell you everything. Oh, but you black. He wasn't expecting me to be black, right? And he said, he built it before he thought about it. He's the best lawyer in the island. He wasn't supposed to take any cases. He's just supposed to supervise this office until the other guy came back. But he said he gonna take the case. He said, go bullshit. He said, because he already told him before he came to see me. He said, already told me he's going to take the case before he came and saw me. So he couldn't back out of it. Right? So he came and said, okay, okay, I got your case. Now I got the best lawyer on the island. I ain't got to pay for him. See how stuff worked out like that? Stuff like that. And I can tell you story after story after story. Stuff can happen like that, happen like that, happen like that. Until I won, and then I won the case. Two other things happened. They had this imam there, he's a Sunni. And, he claimed that they got him. I'm not going into details. He claimed that I confessed to him that I was doing whatever they claimed I was doing, right? I never confessed anything to him. I'd been to the mosque. I'd been over there a couple of times, right? But they did have a mosque on the island. So I went over there a couple of times. And he claimed that. Then the police officer that arrested me, it was a whole bunch of them. They came with guns, man. Arrested me, the main one, he claimed that I confessed to him, right? So on the day of the trial, the imam, his father, his mother passed, he had to leave the island. He couldn't show up. And then the police officer claimed he had a motorcycle accident, so he was in the hospital. See what I'm saying? It's like an angel sitting here kicking ass. Now, every time you pull something, they knock out the park. So I walked out, the trial. And the lawyer came and told me, he says, look, Mr. Raheem, I wasn't afraid. I told him I wasn't going to bend down. I wasn't going to make no deals or anything. He said, I know you're not afraid of these people. Would you please the island? They begged me, he said, please the island. Because if you spit on the sidewalk, they're going to come at you again. So I said, okay, I ended up leaving. I want to stay. I had some other things I want to take care of. I'm just giving those things. So that I saw it in action. There's no way in the world, if I didn't have the protection, they had me. Everybody was against me. I would walk down the street, somebody just, wait, why are you here? I mean, the people hated me. I didn't know why they hated me so much. They knew about me. So I thought I'd throw it out there. Let me get to the other. But the bottom line, brothers and sisters, understand. So that was a good experience because I actually saw it in motion. I actually saw it happening because there's nowhere in the world. I stood fast, steadfast. I stood, and everything worked out. I came out there, boom, smelled like a rose. They threw me in a ball of shit, and I came out smelling like a rose, and they couldn't touch me. And I left there, and they tried to. And if I tell you the whole story, brother, you wouldn't believe it, brothers and sisters, right? But because see, they was trying to set, I was being set up, right? And because I took that, went out to Guam, the people that were setting me up, they had to pull that trigger on Guam. They were going to pull it here. I didn't know it. If they pull it here, I'd been messed up. But because I ended up going this contract in Guam, because the contract I had, suddenly just came to an end. And nobody knew why. I was working with State of Indiana, and I was working a contract on their child support system. And then suddenly the contract came to an end of everybody. So the Indian company was in there too. They saw how good I was. They said, well, can you go to Guam, right? So I didn't have anything else as a prospect. Take about 2 or 3 months to find another contract. I said, okay, I'll do it. So I went to Guam. So the people that was going to pull the trigger, they was going to pull it the next day, but I was gone. They couldn't pull it. So they came out to Guam to do it. So remember I told you that first case with a woman? So they won that case. They won it. Right? They pulled the trigger there in Guam. They won the case. Right? And then all the stuff when I ended up going to jail and that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so now I was liable for a whole lot of money. A lot of money for a long time. Right? I mean, all my contract, business, everything, they owe me financially. Right? Okay. So then when I left and came back to the States, they couldn't, and I knew they had planned it and they had won, they couldn't enforce it. They couldn't enforce it. But if they had done it here while I was here in the States, I've been financially destroyed for the next 30 years or whatever. Right? But since that things happened, that's one place on the planet that I could have went, that they could have actually pull the trigger, won it, right? But they couldn't enforce it in the States here. Because Guam is it's not a state. They got this. It's like a territory of America. It's like a territory. Okay, I'm getting into trouble. What's going on with this camera? I guess they ended this. Hold on. Try it again. Uh-oh. What happened here? What's happening to this camera? It's telling me to get off of here. Okay. So as I was saying, right, they if they had went like that and Guam, so by being in Guam, right, if they pull it if I had went to Guam, they'd pull it here in the States, then they couldn't enforce it. They'd have garnished my everything. I wouldn't have It says I had to go there, they had to pull the trigger there. And then I found they was playing. I didn't know they was doing this in the background. And then they had to expose themselves. They pulled the trigger there. Then so now, because Guam kept sending me letters, man, you got to pay it. And they couldn't do it. They kept sending me letters for years. Kept sending me letters that you owe this money. You got to pay me $10,000. You got to pay $100,000. And you got to send this money, right? Because you got to pay this settlement and everything else. They couldn't do anything, nothing. So like I said, if I hadn't went, that contract hadn't came to an end like it did, then I ended up getting sent out there, and being stranded. All that stuff worked together. See, and I came out feeling like a rose. And that's what you're going to have to, that's experience you have to go through in tribulation. So you understand it. That's who you are. You're God's. You have that power. Now, like I said, I understand the power now. I experienced it. I taste it. I'm just telling you some of it. It's a lot worse than that. I'm telling you that I'm getting highlights. See? They couldn't touch me. So sometimes you say something's bad, it's if you're good. See, after that was bad, man. After I got back, after I saw the whole picture, I said, damn. That was good that I went out there like that. Because not only did it protect me, but it gave me understanding what I was really teaching. I was teaching Angel. I didn't understand it. I had the wisdom of it, had the knowledge of it. I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. Okay? And my wife, she's always, she sees me, she's the way I move, the way I roll. She said it always works out. And now she's coming around. She finally coming around. At first she was like nervous all the time. Why you? What you doing? Things you do just don't make no sense. But it works out. You're doing fine. Everything works out. Okay. Move on, bro. Sister. Okay, I'm. I didn't mean to get into all of that, but the bottom line is, if you understand anything I was saying, bro, says that's what you're going to have to understand. Tribulations get you to understand. That's why it says the message coming came to purify you. Gold and silver, because you had to give you understanding. Because you cannot be God until you had understanding. The knowledge don't make you God. Right? The wisdom don't make you God. It's the understanding that makes you God. But then you understand you have anything to worry about, no fear. See, wisdom don't take away fear. Understanding does. Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, again, see, the stars and the moon, when the sun is not there, the stars are all over. That's these clouds. These clouds out there. Son of Sham, Eric, Silas, all claim they're the light. Okay. We had the moonlight. Elijah Muhammad, he was the moonlight. He prepared the way for the sunlight. See? All these stars, these so-called preachers and everything else, they're all out there. But the moon outshines them. But in the absence of the moon, then all you got is starlight. Silas, these preachers and everything else. Okay. They claim they're the light. We're the stars. Until the sun comes out, and then what happens? See? Blows them all away. The moon and the star. That's what about to happen. They're blown away. Because they don't know anything. They don't, what's going on right now, they don't see it. That's what he talk about. He spent 3 weeks talking about, he spent 3 weeks actually talking about, let's find Farrakhan. Why you got to defend Farrakhan? That means he's under attack. If you can defend him, if you're in defensive mode, that means you're under attack. You don't see me as defensive mode. I'm just giving information. I'm not trying to defend who I am and trying to keep on. That's fine. No, I'm just giving you information. But Farrakhan, Farrakhan's good. He's a good man. He did this. He did all that stuff. Because he's under attack by the Lord, by the message of the covenant. The Lord consumed and spit out his mouth and destroyed the branches of the covenant. They came out, oh, he's Farrakhan. It's been 3 weeks. That's what they really talk about. We got to talk about how to save our community, all this bullshit. All the stuff going in the world right now, but they don't know what's happening. They're blind. Blind leading the blind. I'm telling you in detail what's happening. Okay? What's happening right now, I told you in detail before it happened. I'm telling you right now. Iran will win this war. Syria will come back online. They'll win it. American business, they've already been kicked out. They're going to be thoroughly out. Fort has already been isolated, but they'll be totally isolated because they can't defend Fort. I told you that. You always see it happening in slow motion. America and Britain cannot save false Israel. Right? It says the Sunnis going to be with them. We're trying the Sunni Shia thing. Now you got what happened. That's what happened. Shia attacking all the Sunni countries because they housing American what do you call them? American unit state. What do they call those things? Whatever. Military posts. So you see it going right now. So it's a conflict between the Sunni and the Shia. Explain all this to you. And it's getting worse. And now Trump, we said, if he's doing so well, why is he asking for a ceasefire? He's getting his ass kicked. And Iran's doing so bad, why didn't they accept the ceasefire? He said, no, go after yourself. No ceasefire. You got to pause. We shouldn't have did that. So now we're going to kick an ass until we get what we want. They haven't got their best stuff yet, so come out as a whirlwind. And now they're scared because they think they're going to take out their aircraft carriers. Well, they're going to take out aircraft carriers. Whoa, you think that's going to be like? That's what's happening. America's in trouble. And the economy, they're telling the economy's about to collapse. They said the oil price here by next week probably $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 an hour. I mean, a gallon, more. They said economic collapse already happening all over the world. They said America's going to catch up America. These are devils saying that. I told you this story happened. Now Armageddon. Armageddon will take place, but it'll be triggered by this. Armageddon is a European war. That's going to be triggered by this. And during this war, this is what we're talking about Exodus, where they heard the sound of victory, the sound of whole war, but not the victory or defeat. That means during this time right now, that's when Pharaoh will be cast down. All this, the thrones are cast down, all the leadership be cast down out by their own people. But brothers and sisters, go get you a month's worth of food that you don't have to cook immediately, right now. The food price will be off the page. They said not going to be any food because the oil price will be so high that they're not going to be able to afford to bring the food to the farm and to the storehouses, warehouses, from the warehouse to the grocery stores. You might not be able to afford to drive your car to the grocery store. We're in it now. The bottom line is, it's all because of you, but you don't realize it. But once you come together, they're going to come apart. When you come together, you cause them to finally break apart. Because you're the one driving, don't understand it. So the angel's going to bring you to question. Because once, right now, you got this false American dream, not a vision. People that have a vision perish. American dream, you hold on to it. Ready to let it go. And mass comes get ready to destroy it. When it's destroyed, then you're going to be in shock. What I do? That's the angel. That's why I said that's when Suleiman took over NOI, so you have a platform, right? A bullhorn, get information you. So now you know you're an angel. So now you got angel mind that brings together. Then you know what to do. But you're not going to know what to do. Some of you will be fleeing in panic. And all these clowns out there to my stars, oh boy, what's going to happen to them? The sun brings light, but also brings heat. It's going to burn, and the sun's intense heat. And the sun, right? The intense heat of the Lamb, the message of the covenant. Whoa! Who I left off yesterday? I think I did Ramadan. Let's go to Golden Calf. So I'm not going to finish this today. Now, see, they keep telling about Aaron. So that shows you the way they're doing, because all you got to do is read Exodus. He says, Aaron, Exodus tells you exactly what's going to happen. But he lied. He's like, oh, well, God chose Aaron. No, he did not. Read it. I got it on here. I'm not going to get to that part. I hear the actual. He says, no. God told Moses, you don't need Aaron. I got you. And he got, actually, it says he got angry with him for keep asking for Aaron. They tried to tell Aaron was anointed. And Aaron did his thing. And then, but the thing is that Aaron, well, let's see what I got here. Aaron, in Elijah's absence, deceived the people, confused the people, destroyed the people. Made them laugh and stop. They don't tell you that part. Well, the children of Israel was walking around the desert wilderness for 40 years. They didn't make it because they was all confused and didn't know could make the promise. That's basically what that clown said Sunday. Yeah. Who was leading up 40 years? Aaron was. Farrakhan. But he didn't want to say that part. More brothers and sisters. I talked about Ramadan. Let me talk about, I'm gonna close after this because the golden calf is a religion. But they was worshiping it. It's religion. Now the key tells you what the golden, because the Quran doesn't tell you what the golden calf is. The Bible doesn't say it either, not directly. And your key tells you what it is. And it's angel key. But the golden calf, religion. It's Sunnism. And your key tells you that very clearly. It's Sunnism. Farrakhan had you, turned you, and said, okay. But remember, it's religion. So he's the lessons. You know, I was security. I had all kinds of stuff with Elijah Muhammad. Plus, I did search procedure. You know, people come in, and one of the things we were not allowed to let Sunnis into the temple. Couldn't come in. Why? Because that religion is totally against the lesson and everything else. Sunnism. Religion. The Farrakhan turn you towards Sunnism. He says, oh, we can't worship Master Muhammad because he's flesh. We gotta worship the Sunni idea of God. Now they're trying to clean it up. Well, no, it's Master Muhammad now. But for years it was originated. And I got a tape out there right now with Savior's Day on it, right? This is called Savior's Day. One thing in there is Farrakhan talking about Master Muhammad. You can't worship because he's flesh, right? And you got to worship the originator, which the memory of him. He's not even. Remember, he can't be flesh if you can't worship Master Muhammad because he's flesh. So, but you got to remember the originator. So he couldn't be flesh either because that's the reason why he can't worship Master Muhammad. He said that. So he got to be. So it's a mystery God, and he called him the originator. 72 trillion years dead. And now you don't even worship him, you worship his memory. That's what Farrakhan's saying that. So I got that there. I got Ishmael saying, Master Muhammad prays. Farrakhan says the same thing. Well, he's a God who we pray to. Who's praying to? We need to find out. He don't pray to anybody. It's a damn lie. And then I got a lot of Muhammad saying that God is a man, nothing else but a man. There's only 3 things I got on this tape. That's all. No commentary from anything else. I run it. It runs for like an hour, 2 or 3 or 4 hours, whatever, repeat. And they keep canceling it. They keep canceling it. That's what's on it. And now in this presentation right here, somewhere in here, I got that stuff in it. I got like 30 presentations out there with all the same in it. It's just not, I got commentary and everything. I got those same takes in there. They just don't have the Islam picture as the title, as cover page, whatever. See, because they don't like that, because when people look at that, they open it up because well, as far as advertising, well, I would say as far as, I'm not saying, I'm just putting a picture up there about it, they're still going to Savior's Day. They look at it, they get that, and they angry because it was getting so many hits. I mean, the first time they did it, it was like 3,000 or 4,000 hits. I think I can't remember exactly. Right? It was getting more hits than they was getting on this so-called Sage Pray program. And this thing I know it was canceled. The last time I looked, it was 3,000. So I don't know how many it was because I could look at it a couple of hours later. It could have been 5,000, 6,000. I don't know. Every time I put it up, so it ain't YouTube doing it because it runs live for hours. And once I stop and turn it off, right, then all of a sudden it's unavailable. They got, see, because they don't want you to know the truth about Farrakhan. See, Farrakhan made a fool of all of them, and they just can't take it the fact they made a fool of them. But they demons, they have no choice. Demons are skin folk. Masters, black-faced children. And with a golden calf, that's Sunnism. Farrakhan have you worship Sunnism. Not only that, they also got you worship Catholicism too. That's what I didn't put that in this presentation. That's what Scientology is. Big old cross. Come on. Right? That's what Catholicism is all about, right? Got a big old cross, and you also do confession. Wording. It's golden calf. It says when it is going to be totally eradicated. It's going to take a big blow. Iran's going to subdue the Sunni countries. They're going to take control of the Middle East. They'll control the Middle East, they control oil and everything else. That's caused economic collapse. Here, and because they say, they found out that, America's got plenty of oil. And then they found out that they call it strategic SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, they had that when Biden, because he had economic problems, he used that to fuel the oil companies to keep the gas prices low, so protect from inflation. So now they ran out of that, so they don't have it. Because it's there in case they have a war or something, back up, right? It's like a backup reserve. It's SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Trump declared, he's going to refill it, but he didn't. So America doesn't have the reserve. So this war, as a result of this war, Europe go down first, and then America follows. Because they're going to have to. It's going to trigger Armageddon, and they're going to have to use all the oil to furnish to fight that war in Armageddon. That's the European war. Where America will be fighting Russia, and Europe's going to turn against them. I'll talk about that another time. I talked about it in previous. But then that means we have economic collapse here. Economic collapse here. Religion don't mean anything when you have economics. We're total race war here, religious war here. Diversity is going to turn against it. It's going to be cannibalism. It's going to be off the page. And the NOIs going to have to walk through that. They could have left out with Suleiman. They could have left out with Elijah. They could have, but they didn't listen. So now they got to go to tribulation. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Sunni isn't a golden calf. I said Ramadan. I showed you the fake Ramadan. I explained it yesterday. That's how you know the jinn or jinn is not going to accept anything of Adam. God can make America, Britain. I'm not accepting any of their ideas, their culture, anything. That's the only country, only nation does that. They don't want they don't want their religion. They don't want their economics and social. They don't have it. The government, the only nation, resists all of it. And also the calendar. The lunar calendar is a 15-year-old calendar. That's the knowledge ahead of time. The Quran says that's the wrong calendar. The Quran says the calendar is a 12-year calendar. That's the one Adam has. Remember, he told Adam things that the angels didn't know. So they have the 12-year calendar. That's the calendar that the Quran recognizes. But they deal with the lunar calendar. They say, I'm not going to accept what Adam have. Lunar calendar has 13 months in it. That's why every year it's a different month. But they have 13 months for the 12. So say, for instance, they got 13 months. They got January through December, and they got November or whatever, right? say angel month, right? Okay. Let's say the crown was they got 13 months, right? So the crown was revealed in December. Say it was, right? Okay. So every year, December is going to be on a different time. When you put it 12-month calendar, but December is going to be, maybe the next month, December will be where January is, next month will be where February is, next month will be where March is. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the lunar calendar works at 13 months. That's why they celebrate Ramadan at a different time every year. But it came on December, use the solar calendar, it'd be December every year. And it's let me show this. Let me back up and show you this, but I'm going to close, brothers and sisters, because that's what I meant to do. You have to understand intricacies here. I'm not going to explain it right now. Go back here, Ramadan. See here? This is the way the Earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months to go around it. But in 12 months, you have the moon goes around Earth 13 times, while it goes around the sun, right? So 12 months, right? One time around the sun, right? But the moon, by the time it goes around one time, the moon just went around Earth 13 times. See? That's why they have it done. So you have the equinox, see, and the solstice. And that's why it says 4 months. It says 4 months are sacred. Because it's talking about 1 month of spring. Yes, winter solstice, which is December. The fall solstice, which is September. Yeah, the spring and I got it right. December. Then you got spring. Oh no, okay. Equinox is summer and winter. Equinox. Right? So solstice is spring and autumn. Okay. But that's actually Earth. Understand that? So it takes and the Quran says that's why you have the 4 months, 4 sacred months, because they did the equinox and solstice. The sacred months will be March, September, December, or July, right? No, June, right? Yep. Start spring, summer. Summer starts in June, right? Autumn starts in September. Winter starts in December. Those are 4 sacred months. So Elijah chose December, but actually 4 Ramadans. He chose December as the one that we observe because it falls on equinox. Right? One is sacred. There's 4. What are the 4 sacred months? It's 4 of them. The Quran said that's what it is. They talking about that. That's what the Quran is trying to tell you. So they said we're going to do the old stuff. We're going to worship it the old way. That's what the Jinn says. So we're going to keep the old calendar. But the Quran says that's wrong. They disbelievers that do that. We're not going to accept the new ways. We're not going to accept Adam. But submission to the will of Allah is make you a Muslim. They're not Muslims, are they? Because they're the angels and they're not going to submit. But they're going to come against the angels that did submit. That's us. We submit 100%. So we don't look like Muslims, but we are the Muslims because we told submission to the will of Allah. We said submit, and we did. And we submit to Adam, who make shed blood. That's what he's going to have us doing. He's going to have us doing acting other than ourselves because we're under his control. So he's not going to teach us to be righteous. He's going to teach us to be wicked like him. But that's what God told us to do. So we're the true Muslims. But it says we wouldn't be like that forever because it says, Jen said, I'll keep after them until the day they're raised. So as time is up, we'll be raised back up. So it wasn't forever. So if we had to be raised, that means we was down and out. We down on our knees and raised up. So that's under Adam's control. You understand? And so the jinn said, no, we're not going to So they kept the lunar calendar, kept all the old ways, and went any Adam's ways. And so they did Jinn and Ramadan, right? That's fake Ramadan. And the religion, golden calf. I'm gonna leave there, brothers and sisters. So like I said, I got sidetracked. But this, what I did talk to you about, I don't know if I was clear or not, right? But what I was talking about understanding how things work, you're going to need that to go to tribulation and start thinking mathematically, or you're not be able to upload the Injil. And the only way you're going to survive the tribulation, you have to think mathematical. You think emotionally, you're not going to make it. Because, I mean, if you look at it from emotion, with the Bible from emotional point of view, it's terrible. Man, you got to great kids by the heels and knock their brains against the wall. Whoa. From emotional level, man, what kind of God is that? What's that? That's terrible. That's weird. That's mean. Burning people up. All the things they say, it says. But if you see from emotional point of view, you're going to have problems with that. That's what you got to do. It says, do double them as they done to you. Hell. You imagine how else they did to us? You can't even imagine what they did to us so bad. How you going to do that to them if you're on an emotional level? Oh, man, is that so terrible? And if you pause, you're going to be lost. That means that's going to tell everybody you're still on an emotional level, and that means you can't make it. Because you're going to have to overcome your emotions. Emotions are good. It can't be undisciplined. Undisciplined emotion is bad. Emotion is good. Since we're emotional too, they're more emotional than we are. That's good. Because beauty springs from emotions. Most beauty comes from emotions. You see a pain that you lack? It's emotional. Like you brothers, you see that sister out there, man? You didn't go and do a math class and say, man, that's the one. Man, she's beautiful. That's emotional reaction. She's so pretty, man. Oh, man, that's that boy. And me, when I see sisters, I don't care. I just get that. They got me. I got to be very careful. Just they just give me all an emotional thing. It does. Especially when I think about what happened to him, I get angry. I get so angry. I can hardly control myself. What they did to our women. Like I said, if any woman showed up in the judgment, any original woman, unless you got a devil on arm, ain't nothing you can say to me there. Ain't too much you can say to me. You mess around and get your head cut off. You speak evil about one of your sisters. And I've been in a lot of trouble with sisters, man. Ooh, I should be the one. But from an emotional point of view, man, I want to shoot them all. From an emotional point of view, because man, all the hell that women have put me through, but I understand it. You come understand it, right? So I'm not gonna let my emotional what these sisters done to me, the stuff done to put me through. I understand it. So I'm not gonna let anything happen to these sisters. I'm not gonna hold anything against them. But you brothers out there, you better be careful. With your sisters, even though that's the case, you still got to deal with consequence. Nobody can get away from that. So don't go out there and mess yourself up. If you come in with a devil in your arm, you got trouble. Other than that, it's not too much. He's a Protestant, I don't hear nothing of anything. Like I said, up to me. And to some extent, it will be up to me. I take these sisters out with me when I leave. Some of them will go. You may be surprised. I leave it alone, bro. It says, Assalamu alaikum. Hopefully tomorrow I can stay on track and finish it up because I didn't even talk any stuff I was going to talk about today. This what I was talking about today is what I'm be focusing on once Farrakhan is gone. I falls in the hands of the truth. That's the information, but it's not about today. So you need to understand that, brother. Says, I don't know if it made sense to you. Maybe I said too much. But you got to start thinking mathematically. We'll be able to upload the intro. It'll keep you in error. Can't resist it. Get open to it. The angel will make you think mathematically. Get open to it. Start thinking mathematics. You can don't be thinking mathematics, but you got to start in that mode so you can upload it. Once you upload it, then you really start thinking mathematically. That's the only way you can understand angel. You can start thinking mathematically. You have to be thinking mathematically to understand it. So it's like, you got to prep yourself. Prime the pump. Lead it, brother. Assalamu alaikum.